Hi, everybody. I thought I would record myself going over these directions just in case, for some reason, if you missed chunks of the live version of class, you have me going over them for you. So here we go. So cell land project. This is the main project that we do in trimester 2. That rhymes. Yeah. Anyways, and it is due. Oh no, that's blacked out right there. Can I move myself? Nope, I don't think I can. Anyways, it's due Monday, December 21st. So you're going to have the whole rest of this week to work on this project. And once you kind of get the flow of how this project works, it actually goes pretty quickly. So here we go, cell land project. So again, we've been working with the different organelles that are inside of a cell. We are specifically working with plant cells because again, they have 2 additional organelles that animal cells do not have, and we want to make sure that we include those in our project. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be comparing the organelles in a cell and their function to different parts of a land. And I'll explain what the land is in just a second. But again, just like we did the cell as a school, right? We compared the functions of the different parts of a school to how they can be similarly found in a cell. You're going to be doing that too, except you get to choose the land. So instead of doing a school, you get to choose whichever land you want to. So it kind of is broken down into 3 different steps. First step is to pick a land, okay? And I'm going to go through some examples in just a second, but you should choose something that you're interested in. You should choose something that you know a lot about, because again, that's only going to make your project easier. Second step, you should really review the functions of the different organelles. It's been a couple of days since we've talked about those different functions. And if you don't know what the organelle does, it's kind of hard to find an analogy. So if you click here, this will take you to just the bare bones of the slideshow that talks about cell stuff. So it's only the different organelles. So anytime as you're doing this, I would have this open on another tab and you can just click back and forth. But this has all of that stuff. So the resource is right there. And then number 3 says, begin to fill out slides 10 through 25. So this is where you're actually going to be putting stuff into the slideshow, and you're going to be typing out an analogy. So a comparison of how that part of your land is similar to the function of that organelle. And again, I've got exactly a little slide here showing you how to do that. And then the other thing is you're going to find a picture, an image of the part of your land using, I would use Google Images, to put on the slide next to your analogy. And I will explain again how to do this in slide 6. So first step, pick a cell land. So there are a whole bunch of different cool things that you could do for this project. So again, you're comparing the cell to some place, some land. You could do an amusement park, so Valley Fair, maybe the State Fair. You could do a restaurant, find your favorite fast food restaurant, or just another restaurant. Compare that. You could do some sort of mall, maybe Mall of America, or some sort of store. You could do, if you're super into sports, you can compare the cell to a sports rink or an arena, something like that, or a dance studio. I've had kids that have done super cool projects comparing the cell to a dance studio, a campground, a spaceship, some sort of like space, whatever. I'm not super into like Star Wars and Star Trek and Battlestar, blah. But hey, if that's your thing, you could compare it to that. I think I already said a store, because I said mall. Store, a farm, castle, sports field. That kind of goes with sports arena. The zoo, you could do zoo, a movie theater or some sort of play. Or you could do like your dream house or just a regular house. And again, I found a couple pictures here. There are so many other ideas that you could do this with. These, I feel like, are the most popular, or ones that I don't want to say are the easiest, because you still have to think of things, but they're the ones that kind of, I don't know, they're the obvious choices that kids have done well on and picked in the past. But if you have something else that you want to do that's not on this list, you absolutely can, but you do need to have my approval. I've had one kid one year that wanted to compare it to a movie game. Or a movie game? What is it called? Video games. Movie game. Gosh, a movie game. A video game. Did I say video game? Anyways, okay. And they wanted to compare it to a video game. And I hesitated a little bit because I don't know anything about video games. I know like Super Mario Brothers. That's all. That's literally all. So I told them, like, if they wanted to do that, they would have to be extremely detailed in their analogy, because Miss Swanson doesn't know anything about video games. And so if you're going to do something like that, you have to know that it's probably going to take more work, especially if it's something that's like weird and way out there a little bit. Like, what's that show? Stranger Things, right? Lots of kids a couple years ago did a project where they compared the cell to the characters and the idea in Stranger Things. Well, if I was the teacher and I had never watched Stranger Things, which I did, and I thought it was kind of a freaky, weird show, that would be really hard for me as a teacher to understand the different parts of it. So again, if you're going to do something that is not on this list, you have to get my approval. All right, so how to write the analogy. It says, use this format to make sure you write the analogies correctly. You have to explain yourself. You can't just write, the principle is like the nucleus, because they are. Like, you have to explain to me that you know why the two match up. So if I were you, I would just copy this and paste it in the slide and then put your information in those blanks. So the blank is just like the blank, because the blank operates just like blah, blah, blah. So the principle is just like the nucleus, because the principle controls the school, just like the nucleus controls the cell. So your analogy has to make sense and it has to be complete. And it'll make more sense when I show you the example. Slide 6 is how to add pictures. So again, for after you type each analogy, you need to have a picture next to that analogy. How you do this, if you don't know, most kids know, but if you don't, that's okay. This right here, this little video link is to Mr. Berg, who is another science teacher who literally walks you through exactly how to not only type the analogy, but also how to add pictures to your slideshow if you do not know how to do that. So take advantage of that if you're struggling. Here's my example slide. So again, I've got the nucleus. My analogy is typed out, just so beautiful. The principle is like the nucleus, because the principle controls the school, just like the nucleus controls the cell. And I've got a nice, cute little picture here of a principle. That's it. Okay, that's how you do it. Now, you are required to do slides 10 through 25. 10 through 25. Okay. The slides that have a little star in the corner, those specifically, you guys, are the organelles that you have to absolutely know, meaning you are going to be, in the near future, not this week, but next week, assessed on them. There's going to be a test. There's going to be a quiz on the ones that have the star in the corner. So kind of pay attention to that as we go through. An enrichment opportunity. Enrichment is always highly encouraged, but definitely not required. And this is something that kids really liked doing in class, which kind of makes me sad. But a lot of kids, they created models of their cell land. So if you are liking to build stuff, or not even build, but I've had kids that have drawn these elaborate pictures and done like paintings of their cell land. It's not required this year, but encouraged. Again, if you're just sitting at home and you're bored, you got Legos or something, build it. These are not any that my students personally did. I have like a whole bunch of examples at school, but obviously I'm not at school, so I can't show you them. But yeah, so if you are feeling up to it and you're bored, or you just like to build stuff, feel free to take this the extra mile and yeah, do that. So slides 10 through 25 are required, and it says that in the top little corner. Here, you would just click and type what you're comparing your land to. So let's say you are comparing it to your dream house. You would just type out dream house. And then the next couple of slides, this is where you actually are typing your information. So nucleus, what are you comparing your nucleus to? You would write here. You would type the nucleus is like the blank, because the nucleus controls the cell like the blank controls the dream house. Okay, and then you would add a picture. Right? Again, notice, little star in the corner. That means that you're going to be attested on that organelle. And I think it's all the first 9 maybe. So once we get to here, those are the ones that most likely you will not be tested on. Okay, but you still have to do the part of the project. Okay. I hope this makes sense. Again, you guys, if this doesn't, I'm around in in the meets the whole class. So you can always pop in. I can help you type. You can ask me for input, ask me for ideas. You cannot use the same thing, the same piece of your land for multiple organelles. So you can't use the same, like for the cell membrane and the cell wall, they have to be completely different parts. You can't use, you know, I don't know, a door for cell membrane and a door for cell wall. Okay. All right. As always, if you have questions, let me know. Good luck.